Hey everybody, welcome back. Deep breaths. We are in the thick of eclipse season. Yes, yes indeed. Yes indeed we are. So I think what I will do is light us some nice sweetgrass to set the stage and then talk about it some and pull some cards and check in a little bit and see how everything's going. It's been quite an adventure the past couple months. Um, for me personally, it's been deep, deep clearing, um, and a feeling of coming back home to a much deeper part of myself. This sweetgrass is actually not wanting to light, so let's see if I can get it. Here we go. Here we go. Can you feel that? Taking a little time away from the busy chaos of just the world at large. And coming and sitting together in kind of a sweet little online temple space where we can be together. That's what I like to create here. So this is actually take two. I tried doing this and was rambling and was making such a mess of my words, of everything. I almost left it and just, kept trudging on. But then as I kind of got to a point where I was like, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. And so I stopped that video and decided to start again with more of a deep breath kind of situation. And I'm wondering if just collectively we're all a bit scrambled eggs in the head with this eclipse energy. For me, it's been deeply physical. Um, During the lunar eclipse, I actually was gonna hop on and do my reading because I like to do readings around this time because there's just so much energy and so much information in that energy. So I really liked for us to get, intuitive um reads on that. So but then, kind of like a lightning bolt, that very morning I was hit really, really hard with the only thing I can label it is vertigo, where it felt like my head was spinning around and like really dizzy and just out of this world kind of like, whoa, what is even happening here? So I basically just like hung on deep, wave the white flag, surrender, laid in bed, let the head spin, do whatever was going on because I also recognize that I don't get sick very often. And when I do, it seems to be very synchronistic with certain things. And there was no accident that it was the day of the eclipse that I just needed to like let let what happened happen. And it was really uncomfortable. So I and ever since, actually, I do feel like I've gotten so much clearer and so much more into my compassion for myself. Um, Being able to just kind of look at myself a bit more honestly and say like, yeah, I'm a human being going through a human experience. It has all kinds of turbulence, but at the same time, so much beauty. And it's an incredible life, even if it's a really simple, sweet one. And so I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there into this sacred temple space that we create together ever so often and check in with you guys and see where you're at and how your experience has been the past well, I mean, since the last time we all hung out here together. Um, on that note, I'm gonna really lean into the surrender of just life and, post these readings when my energy and the time, like the divine timing of it all, and lean into that really, really solidly. That I know that there's a lot of people out there that they're like content creators, and they do this like online thing with like a staff of people and stuff. I don't know what they do, like but like pumping out content, and that's just not me. Like I'm just somebody who loves gathering sacred community quietly. And I like to do these card readings for us, um, just in a like intimate place where I don't really care if there's like 10,000 people who watch this video. I'm actually quite satisfied if it's just me and you hanging out together doing this reading. And yeah, and to let them just emerge naturally. So sometimes I'll go through a wave where I'm really excited and like put a lot of stuff out there and I'm feeling very extroverted, and then I will retreat and do my inner work. Do what it takes for the next wave of extroverted energy. And just me being really honest with myself, because when I first made this channel, I really felt like there wasn't space for that. And I needed to just be on, on, on. But there's also so much life that I live outside of this little frame. And I want to honor all of that and really be present with my life as it unfolds in the turbulence and the beauty. So, yeah. So, anyway, that's just like a small little thing. And to see how you guys are doing with this energy as well. Like, have you been really clear and honest with yourself? And what has emerged from that honesty? What have you discovered about yourself? What are you remembering? This, I feel, is such a time where we are integrating so many pieces of ourselves, so many pieces from, healing from just this one life, like our healing our child selves and our teenage selves. Um, and then also, uh, so much is brought to this life from other lives that we have lived. If you believe in that sort of thing, I certainly do, because I'm like remembering them deeply. I deeply am remembering some of these lives, and not so much like name or date or precise exam, like things that I did, but more of an essence, more of a deep knowing, that really helps me understand why I'm living this version of me this round with the ancestry that I chose, all of that. So I'm curious about you guys. Like, what are you starting to remember? Intense dreams, past life stuff? Are you healing big things that you never thought you could possibly do? And sometimes they look more simple. Sometimes it's not like glitz and glamour. Sometimes it's as simple as, you know, you suddenly having confidence one day to do something you never thought you could do. And it's not that big of a deal to the whole world, but it is to you. So, yeah. Anyway, on that note, let's just we'll touch a little bit, tiny bit on the astrology of the eclipse. So we've got the sun that's going to be hanging out at 10 degrees Libra. And I really encourage you guys to take a peek at what is hanging out at 10 degrees of Libra in your chart. And notice, you know, what's the big theme? Because eclipse energy, I feel, is especially this one, because the nodes are actually going to be changing right now. The nodes of the moon. I like that I've got this hanging out. So the nodes of the moon, they hang out and they move very, very slowly around the Earth. Actually, I think that looks more like the Earth, yeah? So it's like they move very slowly around the Earth. But so they hang out. So right now the nodes are in Libra and Aries, and they do that. We've got eclipses hanging out in that for a while, and I think it's been happening for what, 2 years? That the eclipses are all in those two signs. And then they're gonna switch signs entirely. The next eclipse cycle that we've got. Actually, is it longer than that? I'll have to get back because I actually just heard that it's something more like, I mean, I don't remember scientifically, and it's not like an academic thing, but I just heard every 19 years. But that it might not be right. Don't quote me on that. It's just what I heard right now. I'm gonna have to find out, what does 19 years apply to. Do you ever get that? Like it's actually like bing, then you're not quite sure. Anyway, that aside, the nodes have been in Aries and Libra for a while, and we've been working on Libra Aries stuff, which is Libra. A lot of it is like balancing and being in right relationship with our communities, with our others. And then Aries, which is how to be an independent person in your passion, and how to actually, run with your passion and your purpose independently, but not doing it like, banging into everybody. Libra does it with like compassion, consideration, caring for all the pieces of the puzzle. And Aries is just focused on the one. So we've got that kind of balance hanging out, which is, I mean, I feel like all of us work on that all the time, no matter what, because we're people in a civilization. So we're constantly like, me, individual, group, what's up? So there's all of that. So but that's where the eclipse energy has been focused. So we've been lots of relationships closing, people trying to figure out where they're going, their purpose, their mission, all of that. So much of that. Just taking a look at the past couple years. So, but on that note, also, this particular eclipse is going to be conjunct something called Black Moon Lilith. And Black Moon Lilith has a very long, long history, and I'm only just gonna like touch on. But usually, yeah, Black Moon Lilith is the one that addresses fears and taboos and things that have usually been kind of pushed under the rug in society when it comes to like the feminine expressing itself. So just kind of in my mind, it's like that label of the hysterical woman, where you've got the society being like, oh my God, this woman has feelings. But really, it's just like, yeah, people have feelings, and that's fine. It's okay to have them. It's actually really important to feel them and not let it become some kind of condition later down the line because you repressed everything. So Black Moon Lilith is that the energy of society wanting to repress that energy, and her being like, screw that, like absolutely not. This is who I am. I will be expressing what I need to express. No shame, no guilt. And so she gets a bad rap. Hmm. Um, So we've got the sun and moon conjunct Black Moon Lilith right now. And in my kind of take on it, is what's going on is that we're closing some doors, finalizing some chapters. We're in the final, this is it. The book is going to be published because the nodes change. So it's like all this Libra stuff, you can think of it as a book that we've been writing. That book is in final editing phase, and it's going to be published next year when the nodes change. But it's all about what have we been afraid to do, and we're done being afraid of that. End. So, what I think is lovely is that right across the street from Black Moon Lilith is the counterpoint. So if we've got light and dark, so we've got light moon, Selene, and it's the exact opposite energy. So it's everything that is kind of venerated and adored in the feminine, but it's that part of your energy that, you know, you've got the Black Moon Lilith who's pretty fierce, but so you've got it paired with the part of you that is also deeply compassionate and is going to be able to hold space for that ferocity. So it is the balance. So it's like you can just kind of imagine, since the nodes also are like on a timeline, the south node is what has happened before, and the north node is what will happen in the future. The south node and Black Moon Lilith and the sun, the eclipse, all of that is going to be hanging out here. And light moon Lilith with the north node, which is about the future and moving forward, is exactly opposite all of that energy. So what's going on is that book that we're publishing about all the fears that we're done with and we're no longer afraid of them because we've overcome them and now we're strong freaking badasses about that, whatever it may be, is being like the next book is how do we not suffer about that anymore? And how can we hold ourselves in deep compassion and trust over this thing that we used to be afraid of? Because it will still come up in our life, that thing that we have overcome. But the next time we encounter it, that big giant monster energy just starts to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink until it's like this like we were afraid of that cute little thing. You're so cute. And you just like give it a little head pat and you're just like, oh, hi. So that's the next book that we're writing. How to not suffer in that anymore. And that's probably why like all of the things that have been making you irritated and grumpy and feeling confined and feeling squished in a tight little like, you know, claustrophobic, like everything is uncomfortable box is being addressed right now. Fine. And our absolute job is to look at that honestly, honor it, and let it be there. No, it's not easy. It's just not easy. Hmm. Yay. Yay being human, right? So anyway, on that note, let's just go ahead, pull some cards and lean in to this very dynamic and beautiful energy that we've got with the eclipse. So I've got my trusty Starseed Oracle. I love this deck. You have any favorite decks? I love decks, obviously. I would love to know, what are your favorite decks? Pop them down below. I want to know, like, what is your absolute go-to? Do you have one? Are you looking for one? All right. Anyway, let's put the energy of what wisdom is coming for us right now in regards to this eclipse. Wow, I love when that happens. You ask the question and they just drop. All right. Wow. Okay. See, again with the star ancestors. Here we go again with the star ancestors. You guys and your cosmic dimensionality. Dimension, yes, dimensions. You guys are such cosmic people. Like, this is what I get when I read for you guys. Star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. Hmm. So what I'm feeling with this card that wants to just wiggle, like I feel very like wiggly. Wow. Is like something is being birthed, deeply, deeply being birthed. And it's kind of phenomenal because I actually know one of my very dear friends is like her due date is the eclipse, which is wild. We'll see when the birth actually happens, but this is like for all of us collectively. Did I mention it in this where the past little while, and by that it's very relative. I don't know. For me, it's been maybe a few months of very deeply physical things. And I don't know what is clearing because it kind of doesn't even matter if we can label it, if we know the story. Actually, sometimes the story just gets in the way of what it is that we're releasing. Honestly, it's healthier to just let it go to wisdom. And that's what I feel with this is that look at these, like this is the deeply physical and it's being up to wisdom, the wisdom of our star selves, our divine selves, and our star ancestors who have come before. That it's like they're deeply witnessing this monumental, because again, these pyramids are monuments of time and history and mystery, deep, deep mystery. Is it's we're going through a monumental change. And this star ancestor information is starting to really come through, but not just because it's always coming through constantly. It can't not come through. You're always in your divine light, always. However, we're starting to embody it more and more and more and actually feel this on a molecular level. And then as it starts to grow from being quantum and being etheric and being this kind of so subtle you can't even tell anything's happening to a physical, yes, we can see the results starting to happen. And so that's kind of what I feel with this is that we're starting to actually see tangible results of our healing practice happening, which is pretty incredible. Where it's like, it's not just a figment of the imagination. It started there, and now the gestation time has arrived to the birthday. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Isn't it wild? Okay, let's pull another. Okay, that's too many. Whoa. Whoa. Look at this, talking about birth, the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. So it's like you're closing this chapter of old fears that you have somehow overcome, you have somehow healed. And it's actually it's time to really look at that honestly and say the healing is done. You don't have to continue, like once you've got like the scar, you don't pick at it and make that scar turn into a wound again. You continue to watch the scar fade. And it's like the healing is done. So now it's like what's left is that birth and to allow that new part of you that you are remembering to really fully emerge. And, it's still in it child phase. So it's like we're still starting to get to know this part of ourselves. So it might not be fully, like I always say, like it's not quite in a mental place yet because it's just so new. These latent abilities, these like, and it says rare gifts on this card. These rare gifts are starting to come online, but we might not really fully recognize them yet because they're just brand new. They're not quite in focus, you know? So I'm feeling these cards a lot today. I usually just, like pick one, but let's go ahead and do a third one, a third card about the eclipse from this card deck. Okay. Let's see. The cosmic heart. Speaking of cosmic, okay, so we've got the star ancestors, and this is like coming through your like not necessarily what is the word for it? It's like your divine ancestry. So your divine ancestry. So, your angelic ancestors, your angelic line. There's information coming through there, not necessarily your physical blood ancestors. It's possible that some of those blood ancestors could be also from your angelic line, but maybe not, you know? This is more of a soul family thing happening because the next thing that we've got is a deep opening of the cosmic heart. So it's like all of this information that you're releasing all of this old past all these old past fears, long held limiting beliefs. Those are being lifted up and moving into the wisdom, going back into your divine knowing, like you're just like imagine you just like deep exhale all of the stuff that you've been holding, like all that repressed stuff, like deeply exhaling that out into the cosmos where your wisdom is hanging out, like your big giant like god self is hanging out. And then that being birthed into this new version of you, this like this tiny little divine you that actually lives right here in the physical, but it starts in the heart. It starts as a small little heartbeat. So here we go again, where it's like the birth is really, it's no longer in the imagination. It's actually now right right here in your heart. Wow. So, what it says is devotion, potency, and make your life a moving prayer. Hmm, a moving prayer. I like that. I'm getting the feeling of like, when in like actual labor, it's, I've heard, that it's like moving the body, allowing that prayer of birth to dance through you. And so it's like I'm feeling like moving the body. Maybe that's something to do during the eclipse, is just like doing some kind of somatic work, allowing the body to stretch and move however which way it wants to, not being ashamed of how your body wants to move and not restricting it in any way, just really allowing that body to start dancing with your cosmic heartbeat. Is it the same or different from your physical? So, okay. I feel like getting a little message from the fairy deck, the Heart of Fairy. Let's go ahead and see what, because it's like that, it's that heart, the Heart of Fairy. So let's go ahead and get Did you guys, did that get caught on camera? How it flipped up and almost hit my face? Okay. The Smith. Oh, wow. So there's this little dude, this little fairy dude, and he is hanging out with an anvil, and it looks like he's making a crescent moon on with his anvil. Yeah, he's making a crescent moon with the anvil. With the dark moon and light moon, and the moon. I'm getting really like triple goddess vibes. And I actually have to show you guys because I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Um, I went to the antique fair this weekend and it was just in my town. So I like walked there and I found this, which I love. And so I'm gonna put my crystal ball on top of it. I'm pretty excited about that actually. So this is like triple goddess hanging out with light moon, the dark moon, and the moon. Whatever your interpretation is of that. Getting very mystical. But on a real note, um, the triple goddess has been honored for millennia, millennia. And it's not like she is gone. She's just been hidden, and she is most definitely coming back with that cosmic heartbeat. Like we're starting to hear the heartbeat again, but it's not a heartbeat that's outside of ourselves. You know, this goddess energy um is being reborn in us. Like we are embodying that goddess energy. It's no longer going to be a thing that we revere that lives outside. It's actually just right here. So I'm trying to find the card and also have a hair that is tickling my nose. Okay. Oh, here we go again with bond, promises, and creation. So here we go. The smith is as old as Faerie itself. He forges magical swords and armor for mortals and fairies alike. It is said that if your horse loses a shoe, just leave it tethered near the smith's forge with a small silver coin. When you return in the morning, your horse will be shod. As many, as are many of the folk gifted with magical skills, the smith is lame. Oh, I see. I read that a little funny. So he has magical skills, and as it sometimes is, the smith is lame, giving up a physical part of himself to attain a great magical skill. He is a forger of matter and binder of oaths. If you make a promise to a beloved, he is the energy that binds the two of you together. A ring, the symbol of the bond between two people, is the energy of that bond made manifest. When you exchange a ring, imagine the smith forging that ring for you, putting the energy of Faerie into every tap of his hammer as he creates the circle that is the sign of an eternal bond. You can use this image to create a magical connection in any relationship. When you make a promise by saying, "My word is my bond," especially in Faerie, you must intend to keep it. The smith is there to forge the bond for you to take back into the human world. Wow. So, I mean, the first thing that I'm actually thinking is that with this eclipse energy, we're coming to the very, very end of some bonds that we made. These are soul contracts that we made eons ago. And we revised and revised and revised. And finally, there are some that we actually invoked the smith to break the bonds and say, these bonds actually became shackles and are no longer these beautiful rings of harmony. Instead, they confined and enslaved. And so we're breaking free, but simultaneously, because these things all work in conjunction with each other. But in the invocation of this Smith energy to break whatever that bond was that was keeping us limited, we're also making new promises to ourselves about what it is that we do want now in our life. And this could actually be on a very deep, deep soul level that you may not even know the words for it necessarily yet, but that you can feel it in your heart. You can feel that this new part of you that is emerging that knows what it's like to be free. And so I'm feeling this energy of inviting the Smith in to create this like new beautiful ring of solidifying a promise, but it's a brand new one. Yeah, feels really sincere, and it's that ferocity of Lilith, but paired with that harmony. Again, with that crescent, it really is feeling like both of the nodes of the moon, that um the two sides of the coin, the ferocity and the actual labor and force that it takes to create something. But then also there's that silver kind of starlight energy of the new emerging. So, all right, that is that is kind of what I've got in terms of this solar eclipse. Is that something we're seriously closing a very long chapter in our lives? And oh, that's what the 19 years is. Mhm. So we won't be doing the same dance with Libra Aries with the nodes and eclipses for about 20 years. So yeah, we don't do this every all the time. Not in such an intense, not in such an intense way. And so like the Smith is actually like that, this ending of a cycle is like it's complete. Yeah, that's why the chapter is being closed. This book will get real dramatic. We'll get real dramatic with it. Ready? And we came to the very, very last words of the page, and then there. So that's the end of the Libra era Aries saga. And then on to the next one. On to the next one. And that next one is what? Virgo. Virgo, and what's across the street from Virgo? Pisces. Virgo and Pisces is the next book that we're going to be writing, but we won't think about that right now because we still have to edit these last chapters. So, my friends, okay, that's the end of that. All my books have fallen off the shelf, and that means we're done here. Um, yeah. So please drop a line below. I love when people comment. It's so much fun to read your comments. And if you want to actually explore longer conversations and have fun with the rest of the community, you can hop over to the Facebook group and we will continue hanging out there. And sometimes, um, Yeah, humor encouraged. Like, let's hang out and actually have a good time and enjoy each other's company. So, um, it's been a lot more engaged lately. Like, there's actually some fun things happening, and it'd be great to have more folks over there to hang out and play. So that is in the description. And yeah, I never really self-promote, but I feel like if you want an astrology reading or an oracle reading for yourself, let me know because I love doing these. I love to take a peek and see how magical and amazing you are on a personal level and share that wisdom with you because, yeah, the more we know, the more we know. And the more you can remember about how absolutely freaking awesome you are. So that's about all that I have to say. So we will come back after the eclipse energy has had its way, and we'll see what emerges from there. So with that, I love you guys, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye.